What's up, cultivators? It's your girl, Jasmine J, and we're getting ready to dive in behind the scenes with the International Entertainment Partnership. We invited them in the CCN studios where we could talk about why the IEP exists, why the committee decided to join, and where we go from here. You want more information about the IEP? Visit us at internationalentertainmentpartnerships.org. Enjoy the video and please make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Stay tuned, cultivators. All right, cultivators, so I am here with
Elva Trevino.
So, Elva, welcome to CCN Studios. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Russian like always.
I know, right? So I do want to ask you a few questions about the IEP, but before we dig into that, I want to just talk about you, who you are, and what it is that you do.
Yeah, so, I'm just a lover of community and all things that are great, projects and causes. So I am a founder of a business called Champions Club, which has made a lot of headway in health and fitness. We've done a lot of entertainment projects through those walls during the pandemic, elevating a lot of community leaders.
Wow.
So through that, I found myself lending myself to like the city in terms of nonprofits like the International Entertainment Partnership and saying, hey, like, how can I do my part as a leader and how can we keep working together? So now I'm leading the community partnerships for the IEP and really excited to help have launched the first ever Houston Celebrity Entertainment and Arts Soiree last year, marrying a vision that both the IEP had, but something I knew for about 20 years that needed to exist here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're going to dive into that in just a second. So how long have you been doing your company?
Yeah, so I was in health and fitness for about 14 years. I grew up an athlete with a lot of health issues. And I raced an Ironman and played volleyball and stuff like that. So I built a Latina movement. It initially started with that. But the gym itself, Champions Club, we opened 6 years ago.
Right.
We've always done things in the community. So I feel like sometimes people have asked, well, what is that? They see the logo everywhere.
Yeah.
But fitness is, technically my ministry in a sense. It's my gateway,
definitely.
My gateway just to help serve people.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely think we're big supporters of fitness here because we know it takes everything, mind, body, and soul to be at its highest level, to operate at your highest level. So we do a thing here called Community Wellness Saturdays. So we have fitness instructors come out. We just invite the community for free, just to come out and work out. So we definitely support health because that's very, very important. So you talked to us a little bit about this already, but if you can go into detail about the IEP, like what it stands for and what drove you to join.
Yeah. So, the word itself, like I grew up here in Alief, Texas. I moved around a lot, born in Phoenix, Arizona, and I love our city and having that cultural background and perspective. I've had friends from everywhere. So even though I'm Latina American, I knew that there were so many siloed communities that had not just their celebrities in their communities, but also film projects and music and art and all these great things. So last year I found myself at City Hall with my business partner, Blanca Beltran, who's been in the media here in Houston for about 20 years. She's a
Shout out to Blanca.
Shout out to Blanca. She's a celebrity trainer, and Champions Club, we've trained celebrities from Emmy and Grammy award winners and very high up leaders from politics to business.
Yeah.
So we spoke the same language. And when I went to City Hall to an event, I saw Centrell Reed speaking, and she was speaking not for the IEP. It was a different media event, but she did a little panel or a keynote. And I recognized her hustle. Centrell is so passionate about the arts and entertainment for the city. And so I said, I went up to her afterwards and I said, what you're doing in entertainment, I've already done in health in regards to flipping Houston on its head.
Yeah.
And so let me help on this side so I can learn, pave a way for our teams, but also it's about time.
Yeah.
So the IEP stands for so much more than just being a community of members and developing them along the way. They're truly trying to unite every organization from nonprofit to business to government. We just had Mayor Whitmire come on board and say, hey, the city is behind you.
Yeah, we're going to support you.
We're going to be speaking at Commissioner's Court. And so I find myself being an activist in a lot of ways for the IEP and, previously. But, I've been sitting down with consulates of every different type for the past month and getting to know more about their initiatives and their hearts and their causes. And it truly is an international, movement. But
for sure,
we've got to get a grip on our city.
Yeah, it definitely starts here in Houston.
Yep.
So where do you see the IEP 5 years from now?
Being the jumpstart. The great thing is that everybody you can't tell us no right now.
Right.
So whether it's, large running organizations, shout out to SWAMP and Houston Arts Alliance, TXMPA, and a lot of great organizations that are in state level advocating for more dollars. Because the IEP is so tapped into the political world, we're not just building an event for fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're building it to get traction and action to help our local talent and production and business owners fed.
Yes.
You know, for us to get more projects of film here. So it's really big on the economic development piece and then the culture of the brand. So
For sure.
you come to any event, whether it's our speaker series like we just hosted here at CCN.
Right.
And the vibe is just electric.
Yes.
Everybody's wants it. People from out of state who have migrated to Texas, they're looking for ecosystems to plug into.
Yes, they are. They are.
And so I always say IEP is kind of like the mothership above the city right now, connecting all parts.
Yes, yes. You couldn't have described it better. So I love that. So tell us about some things the IEP has coming up here.
Yeah, so we are on, I like to call a 7-week sprint, which maybe it might be 6 now. We recently just hosted the first ever entertainment celebration event at City Hall.
Yeah.
So not City Hall where you see the mayor speaking with the council members, but we actually got to host it in the mayor's media room.
Yep.
Hasn't been done before. And we brought in about 200 people from different organizations like ESPN, the Houston Texans, ABC, Univision, Que Onda, from media to investors, to people who really want to see the development of it grow. So that just passed. But we launched basically our Jumpstart 7-week sprint.
Yeah.
So we're going to be hosting a month-long art show. It's going to be coming up here. So if you follow the IEP Celeb Soiree page on Instagram, you can see the links where we're recruiting artists. We're recruiting models for a casting call, which will both start next weekend, next Saturday, the 24th. We're partnered up with CCN. So you guys have come in clutch. You guys have supported us with a lot of the media needs and the housing of events. But we're looking forward to hosting these micro events leading up to the largest event, which is September 28th. And it's the Houston Celebrity Entertainment and Arts Soiree. Now, I keep telling people, to put it simple, over 500 icons from the city, from our local celebrities. Last night, I was at Up Above Studios where they hosted, Lil Flip.
Yeah.
And we're letting them know, and they're excited. They're saying for 20 years, they've been wanting to get everybody together. But no one's really rallied it up. The executives for Swisha House were there. And if you came from A-Leaf or you're 40 like me.
You know exactly who that is.
I actually apologized to them. I said, hey, I might owe y'all some money because I'm pretty sure I bootlegged Swisha House
for sure
in high school.
Definitely dubbed a lot of CDs.
Yeah. But they're, so we're pulling in everybody. And and the best way to describe it is anyone who's anyone in Houston, not just from the entertainment and arts and sports world, but from the business world and the governmental world, they're all going to be in that room. And so we're going to have a 2-story red carpet with lots of paparazzi. We've got already over 26 confirmed media teams. I mean, Houston's about to do it.
Right. So with all that you're saying, talk to me quickly about the team behind it. Yeah. Because to put on an event at that level and to keep doing what the IEP is doing for Houston and the surrounding areas, it takes a lot of work. So talk to me about the committee and the board. Yeah. So,
as a business owner myself, and you too, we know that being a solopreneur is never easy.
Right.
So the IEP has been around for 5 years now. They have a very powerful board. John Simmons, I always say it wrong. Simmons was the creator of Comic Palooza here in Houston.
Wow.
We have Deborah and a few others like Sammy who have been in the trenches during the pandemic to make sure that the IEP stayed alive and had a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Last year when I met Centrell, I was able to see potential for people like Adonis, who's a fashion icon here in Houston, owns Diversity Brand. Camila, a well-known model who's now our director of models for our fashion show. Yeah. And I just started recruiting people I knew that were going to help to duplicate, divide, and conquer.
Yeah.
Mentoring so many companies and businesses, along the way, the last decade. I love helping to see people's potential really come out. So we've now got a team of over 20 people. We have allies and partners and a lot of great people coming on board. So it's really not truly one person anymore that's at the heart of it. And, as we keep building out this ecosystem, we've got people who have done some incredible things in the city that want to lock arms. So the puzzle piece is, how do we do something that hasn't been done before, but how do we include everybody in that process? Yeah, so quick shout out to our advisory board, our committees, our volunteer teams, our attendees, because together this is how it's going to get done.
For sure. So to wrap this up, if you could look right there in the camera and invite people out on the 28th.
So you are going to feel this for another year if you do not get to this event. Make sure you go to the IEP Celeb Soiree page on Instagram. You also want to check out our website where you can get a free membership to stay connected and or the annual membership that we have. This is a nonprofit, so all of it is geared towards developing the city of Houston, talent, businesses, and so many organizations. So whether you're just starting out and looking for a family to connect to, this is it for you. Make sure that you check out the link because there's so many ways to get involved. You can volunteer. You can help to support by sharing your social media. We have an influencer team this year. We're looking for booking some bottle service tables because, Houston likes to do it big.
Yes, definitely.
There's VIP seats and a lot of things that will be coming up for that event. But the best thing to do now is to get connected and reach out. Let us know how you can be a seat at that table and what you can bring to that.
Well, there you have it, cultivators. She just told you how to get to the website, get your tickets, make sure you get involved because we are taking Houston to another level. What's up, cultivators? I am here with
Camila Carvajal.
Hey, well, welcome to CCN Studios. And I'm definitely looking forward to talking to you about the IEP and what the IEP has going on and why you decide to join. So first things first, who are you and what is it that you do?
Right. So as I mentioned, my name is Camila Carvajal. I am a Hispanic. I was born in Colombia. And I think that's important to mention because it makes a lot of who I am and how I live my life. Sure. What I do in my professional life is my 9 to 5 is HR. It's human resources. But the reason why I'm here is because I'm a model and an actress, and I live in Houston. Okay, for those people who don't live in Houston, I live in Houston, and as you know, and the people in the industry knows, Houston is not LA. Houston is not Miami. It's not New York.
Right.
So because of that, because I was in the receiving end of that, I decided to become an advocate for the people like me that want to make it in the industry, that is 5'2", that is Hispanic, and is trying to make it in the industry in general, but be living in a city that is not artsy oriented or art oriented, it makes it 1,000 times even harder to quote unquote make it in the industry. So recently, a year and a half ago, I was like, what can I do to change that? So now I have slowly become an advocate behind the scenes for those models, for those actors.
Definitely. So let's unpack that a little bit. So what actually brought you to Houston?
My dad's job.
Okay. Cool,
He got transferred. I was 13 years old.
Right.
So I've been here for 14 years old. For 14 years, you can do the math and know how old I am. But that's the reason. Yes.
Okay. So I do agree with you about the Houston entertainment industry, how it's not at the scale of LA and Atlanta and some of these other hot spots. But being down here in Houston, what do you think about the creators or the people that are down here? Do you believe that we have the talent to take Houston to that same level?
So I think that we don't only have the talent, but we have the tools that are not known to the talent.
Right.
And that is a huge problem. Until last year, I found out that the Houston Library has a free space for creatives to just go and record podcasts, but come to CCNN Studios first.
Definitely come.
That they can do editing, that they have those things. HCC, Houston Community College, they have in the West campus, they have like a whole building
whole creative space.
The creative space. And people don't know about those things. People that have been here for their whole life, they don't know about those things. And that is a huge problem. So do we have the talent? Absolutely. We're one of the biggest cities and the most diverse cities in the country.
Right.
The talent is there.
Yes.
Every 10 feet you'll find some talent, some sort of talent.
For sure.
And not only talent, but good talent and multi-talented people.
Yes.
That not only do modeling or acting, they're also good painters. They also dance. They also sing. One of my really good friends, Lila, shout out to you. Hey. She started I met her as a model. Now she's doing her own albums and she's really good. We actually have used one of her songs in our marketing.
Oh, I love that. For sure.
Because she's just like is pushing through the industry in Houston, and she's recording in Miami, in New York, in LA. Like I see her going places, and I'm just like, the talent is there. We just need to retain it. How can we do that?
So that brings us right to the IEP. Talk to us about why you joined the IEP and what the IEP stands for.
So let's start with what the IEP stands for. The IEP is the International Entertainment Partnership. What the way that I like to define it is, it's a nonprofit that works with governmental entities to bring more incentives to investors, so we can entice them here and invest in Houston, not in Texas. Texas has other hotspots like Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas, even El Paso, and also in the border, like those that are smaller than us. How are they? Getting more attention than Houston, and the IEP also bring the talent and the opportunities, and they bring all those three sides and to meet in the middle. From the investor side, from them creating partnerships and that have opportunities for the talent that we have in Houston. But again, not a lot of people know of the organization or the opportunities, and that is a problem.
That is a problem, and that's why I'm hoping through some of these upcoming events that we'll get to talk about, that we could bring more awareness to the IEP and what it stands for, because it's all about collaborating and partnering and joining forces for us to get Houston to where we well deserve to be.
Absolutely.
So what made you join the IEP, or how did you come to know about it?
So I learned through my mentor, and because she knew, when I met my mentor, I was very motivated. I was very excited for like, okay, I finally found somebody who has been in the industry and that can give me essentially a roadmap to get to where I want to go. Midway there, that's when I had the big realization of like, there is something wrong here and nobody's doing anything about that I know of. And then this opportunity came of being part of the IEP, where my mentor is involved in the IEP, and she was like, hey, I know you do marketing. I know you're multi-talented. What do you think of this? And at the moment, the IEP was needing somebody to do the marketing for the IEP, for the event last year. So I was like, of course, let me just go head in. You know, it was impressive because we did a whole soiree in 6 weeks. This year it's a little bit different. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we've been doing that for about 8 months. We've been preparing for this, but we did it in 6 weeks. So it was a lot.
That's amazing.
It was a little.
I know it was a lot of work.
But going back to your question, why I became part of the IEP and what motivated me was that what I think it's wrong. That why can a person come into Houston and say, I will make it here? Just like they go to California. And not all of us can be a starving artist. So what can we do in that sense as well? The biggest reason, I think, there's a lot of things, and we can spend hours and hours. But I think the biggest thing is because I want to set the standard. I love the city. I know that there is a lot of people, how hard it is to put a fashion show. I know how hard it is to get investments from the government, from external investors outside the country, outside the city, outside the state. So I understand that. But we have enabled the standard to be the lowest standard in Houston. And this is a generalization. There's always that your 1 and 2 organizations that, you know, just basic things like having the models. And I'm going to talk about modeling because that's the biggest part of my, what I've done. Having a space for the models to be comfortable, having food, having water, having some sort of organization, trying to make sure that they're not there 12 hours, right? That goes back to being organized. Just simple things like that in my mind is the baseline, is where things should start. Right.
It's the basic standard.
Exactly. And it's not. Why is it not? So my number one reason why I decided to join the IEP was because of that. Because I want to set a better standard and not just being the mediocre standard.
You know what? That's really amazing, because I talk to a lot of business owners. I meet a lot of people, and I meet a lot of advocates, but it's normally advocates for the youth or advocates for media in general, or maybe even advocates for artists. But I haven't met a lot of advocates for models. And I just commend you, because I think that is amazing. Here at CCN, we've thrown a few fashion shows, and we try to make it a place that's very comfortable for models. We try to give them a platform if they're just getting started. You know, we bring them in for a casting call if we like their vibe. If they need a little training, we work with them, and we just try to make them feel comfortable. And I just think that more places here in Houston need to do that. So I commend you for joining the IEP with those efforts, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So speaking of the IEP and everything that's going on, talk to me a little bit about what's coming up on the horizon.
Okay, so as I mentioned, last year we did our soiree in 6 weeks, and guess what? It's been a year. So on September 28th of this year, 2024, we're having our second annual IEP Celebrity Entertainment and Arts Soiree. It's going to be hosted in the Houston Ballroom at the Bayou in downtown.
Yes.
And it's really going to be a thing.
Yes,
We're so excited.
It is.
The partnerships that and the relationships that we've been able to have and bring in, it's been amazing. So it's not only going to be a fashion show, it's a fundraising event, first of all. And we're trying to represent every single part of the arts. When we talk about arts, everyone think about paintings. Everyone thinks maybe about sculptures. But that's not it.
Right.
All of it, right? Esports.
Yeah.
It's part of an art. Of course, fashion.
Yeah.
Your traditional painters,
TV,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. So we're trying to incorporate a little bit of all the 9 pillars that we stand for into this event. It's definitely going to be something close to the Met Gala, but we're not trying to be the Met Gala.
Right.
We're trying to be our own thing. We're trying to put our own stamp. So I definitely recommend that if you have not gotten tickets yet, go to our website or go to our Instagrams. It's IEP Celeb Soiree on Instagram, as well as IEP Hughes org for the actual IEP page. The soiree's page is for the soiree event.
Right.
So yeah. We're very excited for it, and you definitely don't want to miss it either.
Definitely don't want to miss it. So can you give us any spoilers or teasers about the fashion show?
Ooh.
I'm trying to get exclusive information for the cultivators out there.
I think what I can say is the theme for this year, it's going to be Houston Destination Diverse City.
Okay.
And we're taking the whole meaning of diversity into every aspect of the fashion show.
Oh, that's amazing. Man, y'all got to be in the building. Y'all definitely have to be in the building. Me and the team will be there. And I'm definitely excited about what the IEP is doing. You know, me, I joined the committee for the same reason. One, to be an advocate. Our goals here at CC Network are in alignment with the IEP. We want to bring just the entertainment from art to fashion, all of those things. We want to just bring it to a global level. So everyone knows Houston has it and we have the resources, but we have to come together, partner, and collaborate to be able to take this to the next level. Absolutely. So where do you see the IEP in 5 years?
Oh, I really manifesting it.
I know that's right.
Honestly, the IEP has a potential to be so big, to be the biggest organization that advocates for the arts industry. Yeah. We have the government on our side.
Yes.
We have people in government entities that say, no, this is a problem. Everyone is leaving, and everyone that is coming in is coming from California, is coming from Colorado, but we don't have opportunities for those people. Maybe they have a name so they can make their own, they know of opportunities that not a normal person that is trying to make it in the industry. Right. So let's take care of our people first so we can also have opportunity for the people, for the whole migration that is happening right now. So no, honestly, I do think that in 5 years, the IEP has the potential to be the biggest advocate for artists as well as for investors and the opportunity maker. Definitely. Please, we definitely always are encouraging people just to do the free trial for their memberships.
Yes.
And then they will see the results. And I know they're going to want to become a full member for
sure.
the IEP.
Definitely. It's addicting, for sure. So I have 2 more things before we wrap up the interview. So one is on August 13th, this past Tuesday, we went to City Hall and the IEP received a proclamation for all the work that the IEP has been doing for the last 5 years. Talk to me about, you were there, so talk to me about your experience in that moment.
Honestly, it was magical.
Yeah.
Because of the effort of the team.
Yes.
The team. Without the team, we wouldn't have been able to do this.
Right.
We all came together from a marketing perspective, from relationship perspective, from financial perspective, from, again, government perspective. And we all came together and created magic.
Yep.
The people that were in the panel were honestly very, I was very taken back in a very positive way, because I was like, they have been in their industry. So just for those who were not there, we had the owner of Captive Studios, which is also a member of the IEP. They own the biggest film space in
LED.
Houston,
Yeah.
with the 2 biggest LEDs screens. We have the owner of the ballroom at the Bayou, and we also have we had Elise from ELC Gallery in downtown.
Yeah.
And we went from very young, which Elisa is very young and she owns her own gallery, to Greg, who has been in the industry for so long.
Yes, I think he said 45 years.
I think so. And then we're just like,
amazing.
Why have nobody done this before?
Right.
Right? I'm not saying that they didn't have the capability, but it's like, probably in their time, there were so many hurdles that they had to go through.
For sure.
Right. And now they have the opportunity to join the IEP and to be part of something bigger than themselves. So that really took me back. But just the energy, I don't think there was ever like a downtime.
I don't think so either.
Energy.
It was definitely a great experience for sure. And definitely very exciting, because when you're passionate about something, like all of us that's with the committee, volunteering our time and really working hard to push these efforts, when you're passionate about it and then you see it unfold, it's like, it's priceless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we had people, again, the diversity part, I can't emphasize it more. Like we had probably close to everyone that RSVP there, in and out and stuff like that. But even people like Chinadu,
who's a comedian. Yeah.
I found him on YouTube back in the 5-10 years ago, and I went to one of his shows maybe 2018. And I was like, who is this kid? Right?
Who is this guy?
Who is this kid? And he was funny back then too. But just people like that take the time out of their day, out of their busy schedule, as well as we had city councils. The mayor was there. People from Univision, so Hispanics. We had former Texas football players.
Yeah. I even got to meet chefs. I got to meet executives of record companies, music industry. So it was like the who's of who. Everybody from all different backgrounds of arts and entertainment was in that room.
You know who else was there? The owner of Que Onda, which is a Hispanic, the biggest Hispanic magazine in the city.
Yes.
And you know what?
I got to meet him too.
He's so sweet. The biggest surprise that I've had since I joined the IEP is how nice and sweet people are. It's really hard. The thought that you have behind the modeling industry, the art acting industry, is that everyone is out for blood.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that's not the case, but here in Houston, the market is different and the people are different. And it's like everyone understands what the problem is and act accordingly.
For sure.
And it at least comes across genuine.
Yeah, it does.
And I want to say it is genuine. So yeah, I mean, to your question, I think that was how did I feel? I felt like all the effort and all the work that we've been putting behind the scenes, it came to fruition, and I cannot wait for the event. I cannot wait for the event because
listen, cultivators, if you don't know by now, you definitely need to check out the website and get your tickets to the event, because if you're in this industry, it takes all of us to come together to move this forward. So you need to support for sure. So before we close out, if you can look in the camera, you already did the call to action and told them to buy their tickets. So thank you for that. But if you can let them know where to go to find out more information about the IEP, and if they want to get involved, what should they do?
So before that, I'm gonna share the micro events that are happening beforehand.
Let's definitely cover that.
I know I speak a lot. So.
No, it's all good. Let's definitely talk about because that was a question, like what's on the horizon. So let's talk about these events.
So in next Saturday, actually on August 24, 2024, at the ELC Gallery, we're having our first casting call to cast for the models that are going to be in the show, and a little surprise that we have for y'all as well. We're also doing an appreciation event for the people that supported us last year.
Yes.
Artists, designers, the chefs that were there, as well as like the whole talent that came last year and put their work, volunteer their time and believe in the mission.
Yes.
That's also going to be that day. So the casting call starts at 9 and it's 9 to 11 a.m. And then the appreciation event, it's a private event. So that is going to be that day as well. And then we are having a rehearsal, but again, it's for the people who casted. And then it's less than a month and a half, the event. And then we have our event. So again, the event is on September 28th, 2024, and it's at the Ballroom at the Bayou in Houston, Texas. So for those who don't live in Texas, please come.
Yes.
We'll be happy to welcome you. And you can find us in all of our social media. We have Facebook, X, 2 Instagrams, one for the IEP and one for the Soirée. And it's IEP Houston, Celeb Soiree.
Yep.
And the other one is IEP Hughes org.
Yeah, we'll plug them. Check the links in the bio for sure.
For sure. And the tickets the RSVP for the casting call, as well as for the tickets for the casting call, as well as the tickets for the soiree, are all in our bios as well. And we are going to continue to blast all of the flyers for that. So as well as going to our website, just look up on Google IEP or International Entertainment Partnership, enter, and then it's going to be the first link that comes up.
Definitely. Well, there you have it. All the good things that the IEP is doing, why we decided to get involved, and what we have on the horizon. So again, please check out our website. Please follow us on social media, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you September 28th.
2024 at the Ballroom at the Bayou.
So see you there.
Subscribe.
Hey.